Hi there, I am MisterBo, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you a beginner's guide to the brand new mode added into Cold War Zombies called Outbreak. Now Outbreak plays differently to the normal Zombies experience. For one, you're in an open large scale map and you can kind of roam wherever you want. You also have different objectives to complete, and if you are someone who maybe doesn't play zombies regularly, or you've never been interested in the normal zombies mode but you're willing to give Outbreak a go, this could be a little bit overwhelming because there's a lot of stuff on the map, a lot of things to do, and you might not be sure what you're supposed to be doing in what order and how to basically get to the higher waves in this mode. So I'm going to be splitting this video into multiple parts. Firstly, we'll talk about how the game mode actually works. We'll then talk about the map and all the different icons on it. From there, we'll then move on to the difference between main objectives and side objectives, going over all the different main objectives you can do and all the different side objectives you can do, as well as their rewards. And then finally, we'll go over a strategy for how best to get to those higher waves, the rewards you'll get from completing this mode, and what kind of upgrades I suggest you should be taking in to survive as long as possible. Now, if you are someone who plays zombies pretty regularly, this guide might not be for you, but hopefully there'll be some things in here that you may have not already known. So let's start off with what this game mode is all about. You drop in, big open map, and you're given an objective. Now, you'll have one main objective each warp, and a warp is basically a map. Every time you complete your main objective, you'll warp to a different map and you'll be given a brand new objective. Complete that main objective and you'll warp to another map. Every time you warp to a different map, all the enemies will gain increasingly harder and the main objective will also be hard to complete, making it harder to get to the next warp. Now, one thing I will say is this game mode is much harder than the regular zombies. In normal zombies, you can kind of work your way up the difficulty. They are pretty easy to begin with. You can one-hit knife zombies. In this game mode, they're a little bit stronger to begin with, and it's actually harder to gain points, meaning you're not going to be buying everything straight away. It will take up to a couple of warps before you start to feel comfortable with the weapons and the armor and all the perks that you have on you. So let's move on to the map and what all the different icons mean. Now, on most maps, all these icons will be present, but sometimes some of these side objective icons won't be, and it's kind of just luck if you get it on the map or not. So let's start off with some of the familiar icons. Firstly, we have vehicles in this mode. Most of the time it'll be a jeep or a car, but on the snow map you'll actually have snowmobiles that you can hop onto and get around the map. Those hold 2 players, all the other cars hold up to 4 players. The next icon we can see here is the mystery box icon. Now, just like in a normal zombies map, the mystery box will spawn, it'll have the blue light shining from the top of it so you know where it is. It will cost 950 points to roll the box for a random weapon. If you don't want the weapon, you can go ahead and knife it, and that will let someone else on your team pick it up if they don't have the points to actually use the box themselves. And again, just like the normal mystery box, after a certain amount of uses, the box will teleport to a different location. We then have the upgrade station, so this is where you can upgrade your armor as well as your weapons. Killing zombies will drop 2 different types of salvage, green salvage and blue salvage, and these can be used to upgrade your armor to tier 3 as well as your weapon to tier 4. If your armor is damaged, you can go to this upgrade station and spend salvage to repair your armor. We then have this question mark logo, and this is the Wonder Fizz machine. So this is where you'll be able to buy every single perk in the map. That includes Juggernog, Tombstone, Speed Cola, Stamina Up, Quick Revive, Elemental Pop, and Deadshot Daiquiri. The wrench and the hammer is your crafting table. This is where you can craft score streaks, equipment, and various other items, again using the salvage that is dropped by killing zombies. Another familiar logo is the Pack-a-Punch machine. This is where you can upgrade your weapon up to 3 different times as well as give your weapon an ammo mod. And then the final familiar logo is this icon here, and this is the Trials icon. You can walk up to this machine and activate it for a certain amount of points, and it will give you a challenge. Doing what is required of that challenge will slowly upgrade it and give you better and better rewards. If you are completing these trials, then it shouldn't take too long to get a legendary reward for free. Sometimes it'll just be a tier 3 or 4 weapon, or it could indeed be a free perk. And usually when you get that legendary drop, it'll also give you a load of power-ups like an instant kill, an armor regeneration, that kind of stuff. Now, there are also a few new icons on this map. Now, the diamond with the star in it is your main objective, and we'll get to those in just a second. The icon you can see with the circle and the arrow pointing up are launch pads. Now, these will launch you up into the sky for 500 points and will allow you to then parachute and glide to where you want on the map. Think of it just of a quicker way to get around if you don't want to drive. On top of that, then we have 3 brand new icons. The one at the top right here is a load of skulls. Now this is a world boss and is probably the best side objective to complete, though it is also probably the hardest side objective to complete. In the area of this icon, you'll find dead bodies on the ground and a radio. If you interact with that radio, it will spawn a high level enemy somewhere around you. Sometimes it'll just be one enemy, sometimes it'll be a few. Again, these can be pretty challenging, but if you manage to kill this enemy, it will drop for you a free perk. And that is why this is the best side objective to complete early on, because you'd rather be spending your points on upgrading your weapon than buying perks if you don't need to. If you go ahead and activate this world boss every time you warp, it will save you a ton of money buying perks. The other icon we have here is a cloud with a lightning bolt and a box at the end of it. Now this is a golden chest that will come down from the sky. If you activate it, you'll have to prove yourself worthy by just eliminating a few waves of enemies. Sometimes it'll be some elite enemies like the Mangler, like the Megaton, like the Avogadro, or as they're called in this, Tempests. And wiping out that wave will then unlock the chest, and that will reward you with different items. You could get a score streak like a chopper gunner, you could get a replenish of your field upgrade, you could get a tier 3 weapon, you can even get free perks from this chest as well. And then the final new icon is this dragon head. Now if you've played maps like Mob of the Dead or Blood of the Dead in the past, you'll be pretty familiar with this mechanic. If you walk up to this location, you'll find some weird structure, and if you activate it, a giant dragon head will come out of it and a ring of fire will spawn. You need to kill the zombies that are attacking you in the ring of fire. When you've killed them in that ring of fire, the dragon will then suck them up, and once it's eaten enough zombies, the ring will disappear and this weird structure will shoot up into the sky, revealing a box on the ground. And again, this can give you rewards like the previous box, a free perk, a free weapon, free power-ups, so on and so forth. These are definitely things you'll want to do, so you're staying ahead of the power curve of the zombies every time you warp. Now those are the 3 side objectives you have. However, there's also one other side objective that doesn't appear on the map and will only appear on the minimap, and this is what I'm calling the Aether Pinata. Now when you walk near it, you'll find it on your minimap. It is a round ball. It'll look like an Aether portal that's about to open up. You can either knife it or you can shoot it. This will drop you points, but once you've damaged it enough, it will then move to another location. Follow it to 3 different locations, and at the end, again, it has a chance to drop you some loot. I've had score streaks as well as tier 3 weapons drop from it. So if you see it, it's definitely worth going after. So those are all the side objectives, and those are all the icons on the map. Let's move on to the main objectives you have to complete. Now some of these are harder than other ones. The main objectives you're going to be getting are defend the experiment. This will be where there is a computer station. Sometimes you'll need to pick up a head and put it in there. Sometimes you just need to activate it. And you'll need to defend this station for around 3 minutes where zombies are attacking it. Now it will have a health bar, and if that health bar gets down to 0, you will fail and it will be game over. Now I would say this is probably the hardest of the main objectives, especially on later warps. Another objective you have is kill a boss. You'll walk up to a satellite and activate it, and a big boss will spawn. Usually it's a Mangler. On some of the higher rounds it'll be different enemies. This will be a very tough boss who will be very tanky. Now once you've taken his health down to a certain amount, he will go immune, and then he will jump to a different section of the map. He will do that 3 times until he is dead, and that will be your objective complete. Another main objective you will get is the escort mission, where you'll need to protect this rover as it makes its way to a certain point on the map. Now there's 2 versions of this one. One where the rover will get to a point and just scan for a bit and then continue to move on. However, there's also a version where he'll be going to dark aether portals, and when it gets to a dark aether portal, it will then shoot up into the sky and land somewhere else on the map, just like the boss we've killed. Again, the rover will move from 3 different points, and once done, you'll have that objective complete. Now another hard main objective is to survive in the dark aether. You'll know this objective when you see the massive crystal that is on the ground. You'll interact with it and you'll be teleported into the dark aether, usually in 1 or 2 small rooms, and you'll need to survive in this room for 3 minutes. Now after every minute or so, you'll get a new wave of enemies, and usually in the last minute, you'll get enemies like Manglers, Mimics, the harder kind of bosses that are quite tricky to take out when you're in such a small location. And then the final main objective is to fuel the rocket. Now this one is tricky because it's on a timer, and if you don't do it in time, then you'll fail. You'll be given 2 points, point A and point B. Now at each of these locations there is an item that you can purge, and once purged you can pick it up. Now this will make you walk slow, but you need to take this item back to the rocket and fuel it up. It is a good idea having teammates to protect you whilst you are taking it back to the rocket. I suggest having maybe a chopper gun at this point, because that can really help in some sticky situations. If you are getting attacked whilst you're holding the fuel, you can press LB and RB to activate a blast that will knock all the zombies back. However, do be warned, putting the fuel into the rocket can actually take some time, so make sure you're being protected when you do that. Do that with both point A and point B, and then the rocket will launch and that will be the objective complete. And those are all the main objectives. Every time you complete a main objective, a new location will spawn. You go to this location and activate it, and you'll get a few different things spawn in there. You'll get your Pack-a-Punch, your Wonder Fizz, you'll get your upgrade station, you'll get your crafting station, and then you'll get the beacon. Now the beacon can be used for two different things. To warp to another map. Again, this will give you a new objective, but the difficulty will increase. Or just like in the normal zombie maps, you can choose to exfil. If you choose to exfil, a random point on the map will be located with a helicopter drop. You'll need to head over to there and kill the certain amount of zombies in that location before the timer runs out. If you don't manage to do it, you'll fail. But if you do, you'll be able to hop onto the helicopter and escape, and you'll gain yourself a few extra rewards along the way. If you're a new player starting out, I would recommend trying to go 3 or 4 different warps before exfilling. So from there, let's talk about strategy. What's the best way to tackle this game mode? Well, the first thing is, ideally, playing with a full group. Now it can be a bunch of randoms, or it can be people you're talking to, but playing with at least more than yourself is definitely beneficial in this game mode, otherwise you might find it a bit tricky. Now I would start off with a shotgun, preferably the HANGOUT. It's a really good gun, especially when upgraded with the brand new ammo type, which we'll get to in a second. Now I would look at your map and see what side objectives you've got. If you've got a world boss, I would highly recommend trying to tackle that straight away, just so you get a free perk, because you might get Juggernog or something that's going to be very useful for doing the first main objective. From there, again, look to see what other side objectives you have. If you've got either the dragon or the golden chest, try and attempt to do them, because you'll get a free weapon hopefully, which again will help you with the main objective. If you don't have any luck with that, attempt the main objective. On the first level, it shouldn't be too hard, and you should, fingers crossed, be able to breeze through it. From there, spend your points on trying to upgrade your weapon first instead of trying to buy perks, because again, we can try and get free perks from the world bosses or the other side missions. You can then warp and again, take a look at your map and see if you've got the world boss, the dragon, or the golden chest. Again, if you do, go ahead and attempt them. Those are the things you want to prioritize here, because this game mode can get pretty tricky pretty quickly. Around warp 4 or 5, if you really haven't upgraded your weapons or anything by that point, you're going to be finding this game mode pretty hard, even if you're with a full team. I would also recommend trying to activate some trials. Now this will cost points, which of course you may want to spend on upgrading your weapon, but if you're getting easy challenges like killing zombies crouched, or in the snow map staying in the air for as long as possible, these are challenges you can do very easily and hopefully upgrade your rewards to either epic or legendary pretty quickly, giving you a better start. Now in terms of what to take into this map, as I mentioned, the HANGOUT is a great starting weapon, especially if you've already upgraded your weapon classes for the shotguns all the way to tier 3. They have of course introduced brand new tier 4 and 5s, but if you were just starting out with this game mode, you won't have them unlocked, because that's what you want to be playing this game mode for, to unlock those tiers. In terms of field upgrades, I would highly recommend either using the healing aura, which will heal you if you're low on health, or will revive another player if you've upgraded it to tier 3. Or if you get into sticky situations, Ring of Fire can come in very handy. You shoot a big pool on the floor that zombies will start to be damaged by, and it makes them a lot easier to kill if they have, for instance, trapped you in a corner. Other than that though, Aether Shroud is great because it makes you go invisible for a couple of seconds. As for ammo mods, we have a brand new ammo mod called Shatterblast. Now Shatterblast is the ammo mod that I would pick if you're having trouble fighting off some of those higher level elite enemies like the Mangler, like the Megaton, like the Panzer, those kind of bigger enemies that do have a lot of armor on them, because this brand new ammo mod gives bullets explosive damage, and each bullet has a chance to explode, dealing additional explosive damage and destroying any impacted armor. And that is what those higher level enemies have, armor. So this can help you rinse through them pretty quickly. So finally, let's talk about the rewards, why you want to be playing this game mode. Well, it's actually a lot of fun to begin with, and you want to be upgrading to tier 4 and tier 5 on all of your skills. Now you can earn the new Ethereum crystals of Refined and Flawless by playing normal zombies. After around round 20-25 you'll be earning them. However, getting to warp 3 or 4 in this brand new Outbreak mode is a lot easier and quicker to do, and you'll be earning Flawless and Refined Ethereum crystals from getting to that kind of level. So there you go, that is the beginner's guide for Outbreak, the brand new semi-open world mode to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies. Treyarch has already confirmed they're going to be introducing brand new maps to this mode later down the line, as well as main Easter egg quest lines and more additions. So I'll be sure to bring you guides on all of that stuff as it comes out. Hopefully you did find this video helpful if you are again someone new to Outbreak, or you're just struggling to kind of get a grip of what you're supposed to be doing. If you did enjoy this video, or if you did find it helpful, then click that like button. If you're not already, subscribe for more gaming content and coverage. You can follow me over on Twitter at @IamMisterBo. And you can also head over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/IamMisterBo. Apart from all of that though, thank you very much for watching and for hanging out. I do super appreciate it, and hopefully I will catch you in some future content. Until then though, as always, make sure you take care. Bye bye.